Hey guys, Jim here down at Title Boxing Club Sugar House coming at you with a recovery day today that is Rock Steady Safe. If you're unfamiliar with Rock Steady, it's a program done all over the country to help those with Parkinson's fight back and live the life that they should be living. What we're going to do today is go over a few different stretches, some of which we just posted recently. We're going to go more into depth with those, how to adjust those, and most importantly, make sure it is safe for those in Rock Steady. So what we're going to start with today is just some basic neck stretches, work our way down all the way to our feet, and make sure that we're getting through every step of the way. So first thing we're going to do is work on our neck. So first step, put your right hand behind your lower back, left hand up across your head, and pull lightly into this stretch. Okay, so as you're holding this, a few key tips that we need to go over. So while you're doing stretches, make sure that you are not having any pain or symptoms. Symptoms would include numbness, tingling down through your arms, pain in your lower back, all the way up into your neck. Okay, if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, come slightly out of that and just hold the stretch there. You might not feel as much of a pull in your muscles, but you're still going to be working a stretch and getting a good lengthening in that area. So after you're holding this side for about 30 seconds, we're going to switch over to the other side. So what we're doing is when we put this hand on our lower back, drop your shoulder down and lock that into place, and then allows us to bring our head over to the side. While you're doing this, you can also pull forward a bit. So if you'd like to come to the side and then lightly come forward until you feel a little bit more of a pull. Okay, find that sweet spot down through your traps and work through there. So all of our stretches today, we're gonna hold 2 sets, 30 seconds. I'm just gonna run through one set, about 15 seconds for each of them, and then we're gonna switch it up from there. So when you're stretching, 2 sets, 30 seconds. If you can, let's hold them for a minute, a little bit more progress on that one. So after that, we're gonna move forward, come into a forward neck stretch. With this one, we're gonna place our hand, take it into a fist, put it here on our chest, and then you're making a little pocket so you can sit your chin right here. As you do that, you're gonna pull your head forward and push down at the same time. You should feel a slight traction in your neck. So pulling forward here, slightly coming into that. Okay, make sure your body's nice and set as you hit these. Okay, these stretches are always a little bit better if you can get a little bit of a warm-up in, so that just maybe means some shoulder rolls, some neck rolls, maybe just get your heart rate up a little bit, walk around the block a couple times, get your blood flowing, so those muscles can stretch a little bit easier since they'll be warm. Okay, after this, we're gonna move into our shoulders. So now as we come down, so we just worked up through here, we're gonna work our way down into our shoulders. First thing we're gonna do is work the back side of our shoulders and get into a tricep stretch. We're gonna pull our arm across our body, holding here, and play around with your positioning again. So just like we did with our neck, playing with the positions there, we're gonna play around. We wanna go low, wanna go high, and then pull across. Again, if you're having any pain, especially anterior shoulder pain, this one can be bothersome for you. You can try the stretch this way. If you'd like to hit your triceps another direction, you can go overhead and work right into here, okay? Hand on your back, pulling that down. So we have two choices here. We're coming across, or we're coming up and above, hitting in our triceps on our back side of our arms. We'll hit that on both sides, so that side is done. Let's switch over to our other side. Holding here, remember, about 30 seconds to a minute. We're gonna hold these stretches. Remember to breathe. During your stretches, getting oxygen to our muscles will allow them to relax into our stretches a little bit more, pulling across. Remember, play around with your positioning. If you wanna turn a little bit with these, you can. Okay, pulling right through there. Good, now release from there. Next, we're gonna go into a chest opener. So we do a lot of forward movements in boxing. We also pull a lot from our backside. So we're gonna hit both of those today. So with our chest opener, we've done this before. We're gonna place our hands on our lower back, grasp here, open up, fully open your chest, chin up towards the ceiling. As you're doing this, feel yourself lift up through your chest, pull back through your hands, and pull them off your lower back. Okay, if you're having trouble getting back there, you can hold on to your pant legs, hold on to the side, pull back, chin up towards the ceiling, and deep, deep breathing. So as you're breathing in through your nose, feel your chest rise with that, and exhale through your mouth, allow everything to come back down. On your inhales, really feeling that stretch here. If you have a foam roller at home, this is a great time. You could lay down on the ground and do your chest opener like that. And so what you would want to do is put the foam roller straight down your spine, so right here down your spine. And as you're laying down on the ground, just open up nice and wide and think chin up, open, open, arms bent. You could have arms flat out like this as well. So think foam roller down the spine, allow yourself to open up your chest, okay? Big open chest there. So when we're coming open, chin up goes with it to drop our shoulders down. Okay, on to our next one. These are a little bit different of a stretch. We're not gonna be statically holding this next stretch. We're gonna be moving back and forth with it. So these are called neural glides. So we're gonna move our nerves back and forth, especially for those from Rock Steady. We suffer a little bit from neural tightness. So we wanna make sure those are nice and loose and working the directions they should be. So coming out to the side, what we're gonna do is our hand is gonna be out straight and our neck, we're gonna tilt down to that side just slightly. It doesn't need to be all the way down. You can just be slightly down, okay? As our hand comes up, our head's gonna go follow our hand. So every movement you do, you're gonna follow your hand down, follow your hand back. Same thing if you're having numbness or tingling into your hands or any part throughout your arm into your neck or pain, make sure you decrease the range of motion. So you might not be able to get fully extended and down, okay? Pull back a little bit and just go to maybe here. Come back, go through your range of motion. As you progress through these, you should be able to get full extension. If this feels really easy for you, what you can do is keep the arm out here and just move the head back and forth, and that will allow you to put a little bit more tension through that stretch. So same thing on the other side, arm goes out to the side, hold it nice and tight with your core, down with the hand, come back up, tilt away, and down. If you want another added piece, when you come down this way, extend at your wrist, come all the way through there, extend, come up, and then bend through. Back down, add your extension, come back up, and through. Okay, so we're doing about 30 seconds to a minute on each side, 2 times through, okay? So we have 10 different stretches today, 2 sides of your body, okay, for about 30 seconds. So that means that we're hitting about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how long you're holding your stretches. That is just taking the place of your workout for the day. Use your recovery days as a workout, okay? So from here, we're gonna work into our lats now. So our lats coming down on the sides here, we wanna open those up. So we're gonna do these a couple different ways, okay? Rock Steady, safe, we're keeping in mind. So one way to hit your lats, first basic way is if you're standing, you wanna just stand up and do these if that's where you're most comfortable. I want you to reach over to the side, okay? If side bending is okay with you, reach over to the side and open up. You can do this with both hands. You can do this with just one hand. Okay, if that's a little bit uncomfortable here, we can turn, grab onto a chair, and turn into this side, turn into that side. So you're gonna hit your obliques a little bit with this one, as well as your lats. So you're either grabbing onto something and turning, or you're reaching over. Another way you can do this is to reach over and grab onto a door jamb or something that is steady. Okay, so think railing, door jamb, something like that, that's not gonna move on you. Okay, kitchen countertop works as well. Pulling into that. And so you're really thinking you want to lengthen all the way through here. So same thing on the other side, reaching all the way across, coming down and over. Helps if you can bend on this side a little bit, open up a little bit more, and if you reach back, will allow full opening there. Coming out through that. Remember to breathe, okay? As we're in these, when you're uncomfortable, use your breath to make yourself comfortable, okay? From there, we're gonna go into a standing hip flexor stretch. So our hip flexors are here. Remember our quads down here, hamstrings in the back, hip flexors up high. So we're gonna work through our hip flexors, opening those up. When we're boxing, when we're doing a lot of closed movements, we're using our hip flexors a lot, shortening through here. So we're gonna go ahead and open these up. Okay, first standing way, we're gonna step forward, left foot's in front, right foot's back. Hips are square, straight ahead, okay? Like your eyes, where they're facing, your hip flexors are facing right now. So hip bones forward. Okay, we're first gonna come up both of our arms, okay? Lean into that front foot, and then I want you to open from this side. So we're gonna go diagonally away, open, keeping the hips forward. If you are uncomfortable going diagonally, you're just gonna go back. While you're going back, you wanna get that extension into your spine, open up through your hips. So we're gonna step forward, open up, extend back, okay, breathing through this, breathing through. Another way you can do this one is if you want to go down onto the ground, if you're comfortable doing that. If you're not feeling a stretch there, come down onto your knee, same stretch, up and away, okay? So you can either do that standing, or you can do it kneeling, a little bit more comfortable if you do it standing. Next, we're gonna hit our quads. So our quads, like we just talked about, right in the front, come up into our hip flexors. First thing we're gonna do is grab something to balance with first. If you know that you can do it without, feel free. Keep something close just in case. Don't let anybody fall. So we're gonna grab this back foot and stretch into that. If you're having trouble grabbing this back foot, the other thing I want you to do is progress yourself through that. Take your leg, place it on a chair, okay? And from here, you can slowly grab back. Okay, you can just grab onto the back of your shoe if you can't grab onto the front of your foot, or you can just hold here. If you're gonna do that, I want you to take your plant foot ahead, take your back foot, put it on here, drop down, and come up like you were doing with your hip flexor stretch, okay? As long as you're pulling into that, you should feel a little bit of a stretch through there. Work on moving yourself up through that. So maybe start with a chair or your coffee table, stack a book or some pillows, and that will slowly get your foot up higher until you are able to get your full stretch. So progress through that. You can do it over the 2 sets, or if it takes you a couple times to try, take your time getting through those. Our goal is to get our heel all the way up to our glute touching there. Okay, opening up as you're holding this, pull back, open up through your hip flexors as well. Okay, remember 30 seconds to a minute, we're holding these, doing them both sides, not just one side. Okay, we're gonna keep using our chair or our coffee table, whatever you're using today. So from here, we're gonna turn this. Same thing, hips are gonna be facing forward again. We're doing that a lot because we don't want our body to be twisted. We want it to be nice and set straight ahead. So let's take our left foot. This is a little low for me, might be good if you feel like you have some really tight hamstrings, though, to start with a lower one. Try to get up to like the back of your couch or a chair, something like that. So get to a spot that you're comfortable and you can hold for 30 seconds. If that feels too easy, then progress to the next set. You're gonna go ahead and do that, lift it up a little bit higher. So we're gonna set here, okay, hips are facing forward. Now that our hips are facing forward, I want you to toe pump back and forth. So my foot is gonna point down and come back. I want my body to stay about where it is, so you're gonna have a little bit of a rock forward, but I really want you to pull back and feel that. So pull forward and back. Same thing that we did with our arms, with our neural glides, we're doing that again. Now we're doing it with your sciatic nerve down through the back side of your legs. So we're gonna go ahead forward and back. Okay, once you do that for about 10 seconds, we're gonna break this up. I want you to roll to the outside for another 10 seconds. So if you're doing 30 seconds, you're breaking this up 10, 10, 10. If you're doing a minute, 20, 20, 20. So rolling out for 10 seconds, roll out. Remember, hips are facing forward. If you need to hold yourself like this to make sure they don't turn, do so. Keep your core nice and tight. Okay, this should hit a little bit more to that outside. Good, now we're gonna roll inwards. We're not gonna have as much range of motion, especially me, I don't have much range of motion that way. Roll inwards for 10 seconds, feeling that again through here. When you come out to this way, you might feel a little bit through your groin as well. So rolling in, 10 seconds, roll in. Good, you should be feeling that. If it's a little bit uncomfortable, maybe drop your leg down lower and work through these as well. You can also point and turn if that feels a little bit easier for you as well. So remember, hitting both sides, toe pumping through, all the way down, all the way back up. The toe pump is not only adding that extra resistance, but it's making sure that our muscles in the front of our leg are working a little bit harder. We need those muscles to make sure we're picking up our foot when we're walking. Working through. So stretching doesn't always have to be static. Stretching can be a little bit more dynamic, even if you're doing it at the end of a workout. Couple more. And remember to rotate. So you can either start out or in. I naturally go out, so I tend to go out the first time and then in the next time. So we're starting out, making sure you're still getting that good stretch, pulling that forward as you rotate out, and then turn in, hitting about 10 seconds there, 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, piriformis stretch is one of our biggest problem areas, especially at Rocksteady, but also just anybody that is coming into Title Boxing Club. We do a lot of internal and external rotation with our hips, working through that. So if you're unfamiliar with the piriformis muscle, quick Google search, see exactly how that hits. You might be suffering from some discomfort right there, but really what you're thinking is right in the middle of your glute and a little bit to the outside, right in here. You'll be able to feel it if you really dig in through there. So what we're gonna work on is a couple different ways to do this. I'm gonna progress through. So we're gonna start with the easiest way and progress to a little bit harder. So first thing we're gonna do is take our chair. As we use our chair, we're gonna sit down here. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is take our leg, bring it over, okay? Something as simple as sitting like this can help with a piriformis stretch. So I can already feel it a little bit on the outside. What you can add on to that is just sitting forward. When you sit forward, I do not want you to do a crunch with poor posture. Think set your body, keep it straight, and then lean forward into that. If you have to, keep your chin up until you're set, and then you can bring it down, and you should feel that through there, okay? So a nice seated stretch. Everybody loves that, okay? So if you're sitting for a long time during the day and you're getting a little bit uncomfortable in your glutes, try this stretch out a little bit. Pull through here. Should hit your glutes as well as your piriformis. You want to hit more glutes, pull over in a stretch this way, and turn, okay? But we're gonna work on our piriformis right now. So you're pushing down, and then take this hand, and I want you to push your knee down as you're doing that, and then come forward, okay? So you have one stabilizing down at your ankle, one stabilizing at your knee. Hold through here, and really feel that forward, using your breath to relax through this. So same thing on the other side. Make sure you're coming up. Okay, pull through. Remember, knee down, pull that ankle and stabilize. Okay, you want to have this at a nice angle straight ahead. You don't want it kicked forward. You don't need it too far pulled in, but if you feel like you're not too tight through there, pull that in a little bit tighter and then push that knee down. So as you're holding here, remembering to breathe. Okay, another progression of this stretch would be a pigeon pose as well. So I'm just going to grab this yoga mat, put it down real quick for us. So, taking our yoga mat, putting it down on the ground. I'm going to face forward as I do this as well as to the side. So you're going to come down and you're going to lay down on your back from here and you're going to cross your leg over like we just did. So first cross over. Once you roll back, take your hands, stabilize here, pull down, and you're just going to rock. Once you feel comfortable, you're going to hold that position. So holding here, feeling a good stretch. Okay, we're going to turn to the side now so you can see from that angle. Across, pull through, holding here. Okay, pull up. Remember, if you want to rock a little bit, feel free. If you want a little extra stretch, keep your outside hand here and press that knee down again. Remember, we just pressed our knee down. Same thing we were doing right here. We're just doing a little bit differently. Okay, if this is uncomfortable on your neck, go ahead and lay it down and continue your stretch there. Okay, hitting that on both sides. Okay, now we'll progress into a pigeon pose if you feel comfortable doing that. Pigeon pose, still hitting that piriformis muscle. So from here, you're going to keep that leg out in the position that we talked about. Come forward. As you progress through this stretch, you're going to come down onto your forearms and rotate kind of side to side. Feel where you feel that most. Same thing, hit it on the other side. Remember, you're trying to keep that lower leg straight across. You're going to have a tendency to lock it in. Try to hook that up with your hand, hold it nice and tight, slowly sink into that, okay? Lastly, we're gonna stretch our calves. So our calves, working down through here, you can hit your calves a few different ways. I'm gonna show you one that you'd use on your stairs. You could also do it on a little step if you have something like this. If you don't have any of that, textbook, stacking those, okay? Or anything that's gonna lift up your heels. So, when we step up from here, we're going to come up onto our steps. If you want to do one at a time, you can do one at a time, or you can do both at the same time. Make sure your box isn't going to flip up at you, okay? Sink back into this and hold. Good, so feeling that open up. Two different ways you can do it. You can bend and stretch, or straight stretch, okay? Two different calf muscles that we want to hit. Try both ways. So as you're working through here, really sinking back, continuing to let your body rest. Good, if you're doing one at a time, if you want to stay a little more balanced, you're doing one at a time, drop it back, and then after you drop back, lean forward. I want you to try both ways, okay? You might not feel it as much the other way. Try this way, sink the hips back while they face forward, driving through. Okay, making sure to hit that on both sides. I'll show you a little more stance from this side. Foot forward, kick it back. Core's tight, not rounded, not arched. Keeping it forward. Feeling through there. And that's it. So remember, we're holding these 30 seconds to a minute, and we're doing them 2 times through. Could take you anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on how you're progressing through everything. So as you hit these, make sure you're doing them both sides. Make sure you're keeping them pain-free. Those are the most important things for you to do. If you want to add on a few more stretches while you're doing other stuff, feel free. These are just some basic ones to get you through recovering from your everyday activities. If you're stuck at a desk, these are great for you to do in the middle of your day. Quick lunch break for you. If you need your 15-minute break in the middle of the day that you're giving yourself, work through these, take your time going through them, and use your breath. If you have any more questions about the stretches that we're doing, if you need any modifications, please feel free to message us on Instagram, Facebook, or email us with any questions after that. Other than that, have a good rest of your week, guys. I hope you're hanging in there, and we will see you soon with our next one.